Hello and welcome to the part 1 of our GeoSlope or GeoStudio tutorial. In this tutorial we'll basically learn about what we have seen as an introduction. We'll design a basic geometry in GeoSlope, and we'll start with the interface, and we'll have a basic example of how we can calculate the slope stability of that geometry. So I have already opened the GeoSlope, as you can see, with the activation. So in the previous part we have seen that how can we get the GeoStudio trial version. So in this what we will do is that basically there are already basic initial configurations which you can see. We will open a new file because this is the starting of our working. So new file of a slope W configuration or slope W analysis, because we will be learning with the factor of safety analysis, which comes under the domain of slope W. So we will start with slope W, and you can see that in the template you can see that there are imperial dimensions as well as metric dimensions. So we will, because I guess most of you are familiar with metric dimensions, like for length we use meter, unlike feet and inches and miles. We use meter. For force we use Newton, and unlike pound and so on. So we use metric system, and our geometry will be 2D, because mostly we'll go with the plane strain analysis, and we'll start a slope W analysis. There are sleep W, which is specifically for seepage and pore water pressure stresses in a soil mass. Sigma is for stresses and deformation generations. Quake is for seismic analysis, and earthquake based whenever there are earthquake type of loading. Temperature is thermal, and there are so on, diffusion and so on. But the most useful part of GeoStudio for geotechnical engineers and civil engineers is slope W, and later comes seep W. So if you are having some problem defining pore water pressure parameters in slope W, then you can start with the seep W analysis. We basically see slope W, and if we have time we can also go through the seep W coupled analysis with slope W. So we'll just click here on slope W, or what you can do is you can just click on new. So by clicking on new, you are just creating this whole thing. We'll select metric system, we'll click on create, and with that we have an untitled analysis. So we have to add a 2D analysis, because that's what we will be doing, 2D analysis, and in this 2D we will be doing a slope W analysis with limit equilibrium base. So we can also use a previous analysis like sigma, quake and quake Newmark, but we'll go with the initial limit equilibrium analysis. So this is the most basic one, and you will be using 90% of the time. This will be the configuration of your geoslope analysis. So in this analysis we'll see that we can have a basic configuration. We can change the name of slope stability analysis from slope stability to test. So that's what I am going to call it. The name of the analysis will be test. Now you can see that there is analysis type Morgenstern price. So we have already seen that it is by default. So there are a lot of different types of slice methods, basically dependent on method of slices. So ordinary method of slices from beginning from downwards and so on. So after it develops like Janbu, Bishop, which is the first sophisticated one, and then Sarma's, Lowen, Karafith and Corps of Engineer, and then Morgenstern price, which is the most accurate ones, most accurate GLE method, which renders the results almost equivalent to what FEM based softwares do for factor of safety and field based factor of safety. So these types of analysis which we are seeing here in the geoslope are general limit equilibrium analysis. So these are not finite element based. So what it does is it basically changes the diagram into different like a number of slices, and then it applies shear forces, normal forces, and different types of inter-slice forces, and then it calculates the factor of safety based on those force balance, as we have already seen in our previous lectures. How can we calculate the factor of safety based on slices? So I haven't delved into deeper because mostly we are going to use the software based FOS. So as you can see, Morgenstern price is the best method, and I will tell you why. Because as you can see, based on the interface of Morgenstern price, we can define a side function. So what is a side function? So as we have seen that different types of analysis starting from the ordinary method of slices, this analysis, what they do is they started dividing the actual structure or actual geotechnical structure in different slices, in number of slices, and then there are forces which are defined for each slice, like shear force, normal force, and cohesion and friction. There are interslice shear, which is the most important one, and most of this analysis, like ordinary Janbu and most of them, they ignored it, not most of them, but initial developmenting initial stages of development where this method of slices was improving from Janbus and Bishops. They basically ignored the interslice forces because it was hard to put in mathematical formulations. But in Morgenstern's price, because it come this method come very late after ordinary method of slices, and so it has a specific function. We can basically use a self-defined function for interslice forces. So that is the best thing about Morgenstern price. However, there are inbuilt functions like half sine, constant, clipped sine, trapezoidal, fully specified, and you can look into them in GeoSlope tutorials from their own website. But let me tell you in a short that this function or side function for interslice shears, basically from when the slice is at the are at the ends of analysis. So we have almost zero shear, and when the slice divided slice is almost in the middle of the geometry, we will have maximum slice. So half sine is like that, maxima at the middle, and all of these functions have maximum values at the middle, except for trapezoidal, which has a constant value for some time and then it becomes a trapezoidal shape and so on. So that's what basically this side functions define. It defines the interslice shear, and as you can see, I will go through this Spencer. You will not see any side functions. Let me just move you through all of them. You will not see any interslice shear, okay, because most of this either they do not define interslice shear, or they have a static function or a function which user cannot change based on his own. So in Sharma we have a interslice shear based on the cohesion and phi value of like interfaces. So there are different setups. In Bishop and John we will see that they are very similar. We don't have any interslice shear function definitions, or if we have, those are constant. So for most of them, like Sarma and I guess Spencers and Bishops, we have a constant, or mostly the Janbus, generalized Sarmas and Lowen Karafith, they have a specialized function which is constant and we cannot interfere with that function, except for Morgenstern price, which you can, where you can have a user fully specified function and use these Fn values for different type of slices and different Fx values for interslice shear or side function values. So that's why Morgenstern price method is the best or most accurate GLE, general limit equilibrium method, for slope stability analysis, and we'll go with it because you will learn more parameters if you look into Morgenstern price, unlike other methods. However, we will see the factor of safety based on different types of analysis. So we have pore water pressure condition. So we'll go with half sine function, which is the default side function. Pore water pressure condition can be defined from RU, B bar, or piezometric lines and their combination. We can use a parent analysis. This parent analysis can be slope CW analysis or analysis before that, but because this is a basic analysis which we have defined here after 2D geometry, so we don't have any parent of that analysis. This is the main guy. So we'll go with the RU values for now. RU value is the if you know about it in basic geotechnical engineering, it is the indication of how saturated your soil is in a physical sense. So higher the RU values, goes about from I guess zero point 0.1 to 0.3 at max. Maybe I'm mistaken, but higher the RU values, your soil will be weaker in saturation or more saturated. So we go with generally 0.25 RU values for a conservative estimate, and if we have a seismic, we have to do seismic analysis, we can use this pseudostatic analysis option. We generally go with effective stress strengths because that's what most analysis requires. You can also use Duncan's parameters or Duncan's undrained shear strengths if it requires, if your client requires you to do that, but generally effective stress does the job. And partial factors, we can define them here, or what we can do is we can define them in our own analysis, like seismic coefficients. You can do that. Generally all the values are 1 because all the loads are multiplied by a factor of 1, so we don't have to do a lot of changing here. If you want, you can change the values based on different codal provisions you can you have been through. Basically there are a lot of provisions like Eurocode which are here, we already have, so you can just follow them, and Indian code is not included, so you can also add a file of your own from this import option. So I'll not dwell a lot into them, so I'll just cancel it out. And you can also, if you are into programming, you can learn to add a partial factor of safety for different types of codal provision. Now let's go into slip surface part. So after defining the geometry, which we haven't done yet, we have to calculate the slip surface, basically factor of safety based on the critical slip surface. So we have to try different slip surface from different radiuses of slicing. So that's how we have to define if our slip surface is moving from left to right or right to left. So that's what we need to always check out. So left to right means from whatever computer screen you have, in that computer screen from left towards the right will be the direction of slip surface. So we'll go with the default values, and we'll use entry and exit method. In this way we can basically go with the default, and we can see all the uses of all these parameters one by one, so you don't need to worry. Slip surfaces, calculation of slip surfaces based on entry, exit, grid and radius, block specified and fully specified methods are quite different. However, generally mostly grid and radius method is used because it randomizes the centers centers of this slip surfaces. So basically the lever arm of the slip surfaces. Entry and exit is also a good method, but for more randomization, grid and radius is used. We can also use tension cracks and this type of parameters, but you should not generally use them right away because we are just trying to learn the basics of it. So for now we'll just omit the tension crack part. Now we'll look into the factor safety distribution. Generally constant distribution is used because probabilistic distribution based on parameters or Monte Carlo simulations, generally if you just want to look into the results based on the variability, you can use it, but generally we assume that every point has a failure of a probability of failure equal to 1 or equal failure of probability. So that's why we use the constant safety distribution. So in advanced you don't need to change, but this is a GLE parameters, general limit equilibrium parameters, very similar to finite element. So this depths can be changed to change the overall types of analysis. Number of slices can be changed, number of iterations can also be changed. Everything can be changed to fine tune or coarse tune our analysis. We maybe look into it, but most generally this should be kept constant unless you are doing a very complex analysis of a very complex slope. We'll also look into a complex slope in this learning part, but for now we'll just leave them alone. So these are the parts of basic analysis or analysis definition. We'll go with the Morgenstern price, which is the most nearest to GLE or limit equilibrium method. We will use the basic half sign. PWP conditions will be based on the RU values, and for pseudostatic we'll use effective stress strength. So we'll just go with this with the name of test and just close it. So there we have a basic analysis. Now what we have to do is that we have to create a geometry, and then after the geometry we'll create materials and so on.